Hi, in this video we're looking at a long-read platform called Oxford Nanopore. This platform allows you to potentially sequence as long as your extracted DNA happens to be, and it's also got a unique feature that you will find interesting. So let's get into it. What is Oxford Nanopore sequencing, and how does it differ from Sanger sequencing? For decades, nearly every DNA sequencing technology shared one fundamental idea. If you wanted to determine the sequence of DNA, you first had to copy it. The hero, as I always say, is DNA polymerase. It's going along and making a copy of the template that you provide, which is your DNA sequencing library, which you've collected from your sample. And then as it copies the templates that you've provided, you're able to determine what the sequences are because A is complementary to T, G is complementary to C. Frederick Sanger's chain termination method relied on DNA polymerase synthesizing a complementary DNA strand. Modern next-generation sequencing, or NGS for short, platforms such as Illumina also depend on DNA synthesis. Although the technologies differ considerably, they share the same underlying philosophy: observe DNA while it is being copied. Oxford Nanopore's technology asked a completely different question. What if we did not copy the DNA at all? What if we measured the molecule itself? Rather than observing DNA synthesis, Oxford Nanopore measures the physical properties of individual DNA or RNA molecules as they pass through an extremely small biological nanopore. To appreciate why Oxford Nanopore sequencing is different, it's useful to consider what previous sequencing technologies actually measure. Sanger sequencing measures fluorescence emitted by chain-terminating DNA fragments. Illumina sequencing also measures fluorescence, but this is generated during the DNA synthesis. Neither technology observes the original DNA molecule directly. In Oxford Nanopore sequencing, instead of copying DNA, a single DNA molecule is guided through a microscopic protein pore embedded within a synthetic membrane. An electrical voltage is applied across the membrane. Because DNA carries a negative charge, remember all the phosphate groups on the DNA molecule, those are negatively charged. So as the DNA is drawn through the nanopore by the electrical field, it actually blocks the flow of ions as it's moving through the pore. And in this way, a tiny change in electrical current occurs. That's it. It's these electrical current changes that are the data produced by the instrument. This is perhaps the most important concept to understand. Oxford Nanopore sequencers do not directly observe the letters adenine, thymine, guanine, or cytosine. They observe electrical current. So if you look through an Oxford Nanopore trace, you're not going to see bases, you're rather going to see amps. To a human observer, these numbers appear meaningless. However, sophisticated neural network algorithms have been trained using millions of sequencing examples. These algorithms learn the relationship between electrical current patterns and the DNA sequences that produce them. The process of converting electrical signals into DNA sequence is known as basecalling for this platform. Unlike earlier sequencing technologies, the instrument never directly identifies DNA bases. Instead, it measures physics, while software reconstructs biology. An obvious question arises. If DNA consists of individual nucleotides, why doesn't the nanopore simply identify each base separately? The answer lies in the size of the nanopore. The sensing region of the pore is physically larger than a single nucleotide. At any given moment, several neighboring nucleotides occupy the narrowest region of the pore simultaneously. Consequently, the electrical current reflects the combined influence of multiple adjacent bases rather than one nucleotide alone or a single nucleotide. So instead of recognizing individual bases directly, the basecalling software learns to interpret these complex electrical signatures into DNA sequence. There's a part of the sensor or the sequencing platform for Nanopore that makes this possible. There's a motor protein. DNA would naturally pass through the nanopore far too quickly to measure accurately. Without regulation, millions of nucleotides could pass through the pore every second. To solve this problem, Oxford Nanopore attaches a specialized motor protein to each DNA molecule. The motor protein controls the movement of DNA through the pore, through the nanopore, one small step at a time. You can think of the motor protein as the gearbox of the sequencing system. Instead of allowing DNA to rush through uncontrollably, it feeds the molecule through the nanopore at a carefully regulated speed, giving the electronics sufficient time to record precise electrical measurements. Without the motor pore or the motor protein, nanopore sequencing would not be possible. So how can Oxford Nanopore produce such long reads? Traditional sequencing technologies are ultimately limited by the chemistry required to repeatedly copy DNA. Oxford Nanopore does not repeatedly synthesize DNA, as we've mentioned. It simply continues measuring until the DNA molecule reaches its end. Consequently, read length is determined primarily by the size and quality of the DNA molecules extracted from your sample. If the extracted DNA is 20 kilobases long, so 20,000 base pairs long, the instrument can potentially sequence all 20,000 kilobases continuously. If the DNA is several hundred kilobases long, equally long reads are possible. Under carefully optimized laboratory conditions, reads exceeding 1 million bases have been demonstrated. Another unique feature of Oxford Nanopore sequencing is that sequencing begins immediately to produce useful information. As soon as DNA molecules begin passing through nanopores, electrical signals are generated. These signals can be base-called while the sequencing is still in progress. You can do alignment, taxonomic classification, and genome assembly long before the sequencing run has finished. And this real-time capability has proven particularly valuable during infectious disease outbreaks, or if you're doing environmental sequencing and in situations where you need rapid identification of pathogens. Oxford Nanopore sequencing also has impact in terms of epigenetics. So because Oxford Nanopore measures DNA molecules directly, it can often detect more than the DNA sequence alone. Chemical modifications such as DNA methylation subtly alter the way DNA interacts with the nanopore. These changes produce characteristic alterations in the electrical signal. Rather than requiring additional chemical treatments to study DNA methylation, Oxford Nanopore can frequently infer these modifications directly from the sequencing data. Similarly, the platform is capable of sequencing native RNA molecules. Now, none of the other platforms is capable. They usually have to convert the RNA to complementary DNA or cDNA. But Oxford Nanopore can directly sequence RNA molecules, allowing researchers to study RNA directly rather than sequencing DNA copies produced by reverse transcription. So if we were to compare Sanger and the Oxford Nanopore platform, Sanger sequencing typically produces highly accurate reads approaching 700 to 1,000 base pairs. Oxford Nanopore produces much longer reads, often exceeding tens or hundreds of kilobases, while enabling real-time sequencing and direct detection of certain DNA modifications. Because of the accuracy, Sanger sequencing remains one of the best methods for validating small DNA regions. But Oxford Nanopore excels when long reads, structural variation, rapid sequencing, or epigenetic analysis are required. Oxford Nanopore has a few instruments. They have the Flungle, the MinION, the Gridiron, and Promethean. The primary difference between these is simply the number of nanopores that operate simultaneously. So the Flungle provides a low-cost solution for small experiments. The MinION places a sequencing laboratory into a portable device that can fit into a pocket. The Gridiron allows multiple sequencing flow cells to operate simultaneously within a laboratory. and the Promethean scales the same technology to support population scale sequencing projects. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I really appreciate you subscribing to our study group and giving the video a thumbs up. And I'm looking forward to catching you in the next video. God bless. Bye.